Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello and welcome to The Print. I'm Snesh Alex Philip and you're watching the Defense Tracker. Even as the guns have fallen silent at the LOC, that is the line of control with Pakistan, following a fresh ceasefire agreement that came into force from the 25th of February this year, the terror recruitment in Kashmir continues. This even as new organizations have propped up in Kashmir with new names, but are basically just frontal organizations for the traditional terror groups like the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, among others. Now, sources in the defense and security establishment say that as of this year, around 40 youngsters have joined the terror groups, with another 50 missing. Remember that many of these missing are believed to have actually joined the terror groups. However, they would be categorized as missing till they are found or till the proof of them joining terror groups in terms of pictures that are clicked and circulated by the terror groups, or till there is evidence of them carrying out any particular attack. Sources say that the continuing recruitment that is happening in Kashmir is a worry, even though there has not been any steep rise over the last 2 years. If one sees the recruitment numbers, one would find that it is almost same as the figures that was there in 2020, which was about a total of 150 recruits. However, remember that this figure had fallen drastically from what was prevalent in 2018, where over 210 youngsters had joined the terror groups. But remember that this recruitment is continuing despite the COVID pandemic and the lockdown that it brought along. On the 2nd of June, when the army chief was on a visit to Kashmir to take stock of the situation after 100 days of the ceasefire agreement at the LOC, the Print had reported that while the guns had fallen silent from the Pakistani side at the LOC, the support to the terror infrastructure continues. And sadly, the same night, that is on the 2nd of June, a BJP leader was shot dead by terrorists in the Pulwama area of South Kashmir. Sources say that the peace initiative by Pakistan, under which a ceasefire has been agreed to at the LOC, is just a move to escape the Paris-based Financial Action Task Force action against it. And I quote, Pakistan's peace initiatives are to get itself out of the grey listing of the FATF and to showcase to the world that it is not supporting terror and is actually wanting peace with India. So yes, while there has not been any infiltration attempt since February end or any ceasefire violations, the support to the terror group in Kashmir continues. Quote closed. There is another interesting development that has come about in Kashmir from early 2020. New organizations have actually propped up in Kashmir with very peculiar names. And the attempt clearly is to showcase them as indigenous, that is local Kashmiri movements, and also to showcase their cadres as some sort of revolutionaries. Even if you look at the trend of the new recruits, one would find that majority of them have joined what is called as the Resistance Front, or the TRF, which is nothing but a front for the LET. Another front for the LET is the People's Anti-Fascist Front, which claimed the attack on the BJP leader that was carried out on the 2nd of June. Similarly, the infamous 313 Brigade of the Harkatul Mujahideen has converged into what is now known as the Jammu and Kashmir Ghaznavi Force. The Lashkar-e-Mustafa is a frontal organization for the JEM, which came under immense spotlight following the Pulwama attack. Interestingly, while the recruitment is happening into terror organizations, one prominent group is actually missing in action, and I'm talking about the Hizbul Mujahideen. Over the last few months, or about a year, the terror activities and the recruitment in the HM has actually come down. Sources say that this is primarily because of tensions that are there at the Hizbul Mujahideen headquarters in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Remember that Hizbul Mujahideen was one of the first or initial terror groups that came out of Kashmir. While Hizbul Mujahideen is traditionally believed to be made up of largely locals who actually moved to POK for arms training. However, remember that there are elements besides the locals in the Hizbul Mujahideen. I'm talking about the POK, that is Pakistan occupied, the Kashmiris staying there. They are usually known as the Pir Panjal recruits. And of course, you also have the Punjabi, Pakistanis who are part of the Hizbul Mujahideen. Sources say that there is large-scale discontentment among the Hizbul Mujahideen cadres, basically those who had moved to POK. This is because there has not been any salary revision, and I quote, salary revision over the last few years. Remember that the Pakistani establishment actually pays salaries to those who had joined the Hizbul Mujahideen. The salaries vary from about 10,000 to rupees 11,000, that is Pakistani rupees for single individuals, to about Pakistani rupees again 17,000 for those having families. Sources say that many of those who had moved to POK as part of the large-scale movement that happened in the early 90s or late 1980s and the early 90s have actually shifted to do other jobs besides terror so that they could keep the family running. And remember that most of the families are on this side of the LOC and the money is transferred out through the Hawala operators. Coming back to the recruitment, the sources in the defense and security establishment say that the continued recruitment is a worry. Remember that this recruitment comes at a time when there is the corona pandemic and it was accompanied by massive lockdown. So yes, the current recruitment is a worry for both the defense, the security, as well as the police establishment. Interestingly, there is a segment within the establishment which thinks that kill-based approach of measuring success needs to change and the focus should be on to ensure that recruitment comes down. Interestingly, the government is also working on a surrender policy for these new recruits who had joined terror groups, something on which I had reported way back in October 2020. However, a final decision is yet to be taken by the defense and the home ministries. For The Print, this is Snesh Alex Philip. Do subscribe to our Print's YouTube channel for more such videos.